This is the tutorial video for reviewers of Submission 2 of the Initial Certification Portfolio for all education majors. Log into LiveText using the program name and password sent to you via email. Click on View All Reviews inbox. Find the portfolios of students assigned to you using the search bar and open the portfolio by clicking on the title. First thing, add a comment at the top that indicates which submission you are reviewing, in this case Submission 2, and save it. Before going on to Submission 2 documents, open Submission 1 documents. Check to make sure that all corrections were made and credential pages are complete. Okay, then click on Submission 2 documents to begin scoring the portfolio submission. The first page is a set of instructions for sending the submission for review. This page is for the students themselves. You do not need to score or comment on this page. You will find a link to the handbook, which includes the descriptions of all of the core values and the in-task standards if you need to review them. You'll find those on pages 6 and 7. Crosswalked, each core value is matched to the in-task standards that it correlates with. This is for your benefit and also for the student's benefit. We'll go back to the portfolio. Okay, the next page, on the second page, candidates should scan and attach a copy of their OSAT score report. This passing score is required by most programs in order to move forward with student teaching, so it has been moved from Submission 3 to Submission 2. On the next page, the candidate should copy and paste a current transcript grade report. It should include the current semester's courses. Next, candidates should copy and paste an up-to-date resume that includes any recent field experience. They may also include an attachment in case the formatting doesn't work well with LiveText. It should be copied and pasted there. The next page is for evaluations from their most recent field experiences. Most candidates should have a minimum of 2 of these by the time they get to Submission 2, or they should have a sentence explaining why they do not have an additional evaluation on the page. The final credential page is the release form for videos, photos, and student work. Candidates should have a paragraph on this page explaining how they will collect and store parental permission forms to use student work or videotape students in the classroom for their teacher work sample or their EdTPA. In Submission 2, all programs except PE will complete all 10 artifacts that connect to LEADS and the in-task standards. The Oklahoma General Competencies have become in-task, and there are now only 10. Rely on the descriptions in the portfolio handbook when determining if an artifact is a good fit with both the core values and the in-task standards. On the caption pages, we have already identified which artifacts or which in-task standards go with which core values. Candidates need to meet each standard only once, so they may or may not meet all of the standards listed on a particular caption page. As before, they need to write a paragraph explaining the artifact itself. They need to write a second paragraph explaining how the artifact meets the core value. Then they need to copy and paste the in-task standard in its entirety from the portfolio handbook. And then they type a paragraph explaining how they meet each of those in-task standards. If they choose to meet 1, if they choose to meet 2, if they choose to meet 3, however many they meet, they need a paragraph for each one. The last page that you need to look at is the updated field placement record form. This is something that they started in Submission 1. They will be adding to this with each submission. Hopefully they will have at least one additional field experience recorded here. When you've examined everything and made comments indicating any corrections that you want them to make or acknowledging outstanding work, go ahead and click on Assess Document and scroll to the bottom of the page, to the bottom of the rubric page, and you'll choose another assessment. You click OK, and you will need to choose the document that is titled Initial Cert Portfolio Rubric Sub 2 For elementary reviewers, this is going to be on page 2, right down here at the bottom. Click on the circle next to the name and then select the document. That will attach the rubric to the portfolio. The rubric itself is pretty self-explanatory. We have a rubric level for overall presentation, for mechanics, and then a level for the credential pages. They can be missing only one of these pages and still pass. Then there is a rubric level for each of the core values and the in-task standards for each artifact, and a level for each reflection. So you're going to score them on the artifact itself and its connection to the core value and to the in-task standards, and then you're also going to score them on their reflection paragraphs. Each one of the 10. When you get all finished scoring, go to the bottom. You can make comments at the bottom as needed, and then score a milestone. They can pass. If they received a 1 on any of the scoring rubric, on any level of the scoring rubric, then they have corrections to make, at least one correction to make. If they received a POI, that means they have several corrections to make. The reporting type will always be official, and then you'll save and submit for the scoring results to be complete. Students or candidates will receive a notification from LiveText when you save and submit the score. If they have corrections to be made, they have 7 days after the portfolio has been scored to complete them and resubmit the portfolio for your re-examination. Candidates must score a 2 on all rubric levels to pass submission 2. When you score a resubmission, be sure to go back to the rubric and change any 1s or 0s to 2s if the correction is sufficient. If you have any questions, contact me in the portfolio office. This concludes the tutorial video for submission 2. Reviewers.